Good morning, dear colleagues. We start our work and I give the floor to the Ministry of Defense spokesperson, Colonel Dmytro Hutsulyak. Good morning, dear guests. The Minister of Defense, General of the Army of Ukraine Stepan Poltorak, started his visit to the Odessa garrison, where he visited a site in Dachna, where a military town is being constructed. The minister said that he is generally satisfied with the project and with the process of construction of accommodation buildings for the staff. Stepan Poltorak noted that during construction works, all the needs of servicemen will be taken into account, and residential buildings and infrastructure will be constructed to be comfortable for the servicemen. The Minister of Defense also approved the Code of Impartial Conduct and Professional Ethics for the servicemen, officials, and other staff members who work in the Ministry of Defense and in the armed forces. On this occasion, he addressed to the officials of the ministry and called to avoid violation of anti-corruption law and take all the urgent measures to prevent corruption. The Minister of Defense stressed that prevention of corruption is one of the priorities for the officials of the military authorities, and that they should, by their own example, to contribute to impartial behavior of the officials. Respect of the code by all the officials will be an efficient means that will help to prevent corruption and related crimes, and will help to promote democratic reforms. Stepan Poltorak said to the directors of the subunits of the Ministry of Defense and of the Armed Forces to explain provisions of the code to officers and sergeants of the Armed Forces, to the officials, and also to ensure control that all these provisions are respected. The Ukrainian parliament adopted a decision to create a unified state register of persons liable for conscription. This register will help to the officials to organize the listing of persons liable for conscription and to plan and conduct conscription, to organize admission to contract service. It will become a unified automatic information system where all this information will be kept. Also, the register will help to the servicemen who have been retired, will be available for the servicemen. The register will also be available for the servicemen who have been retired and for their families. The register will include personal information of all persons liable for conscription of the age between 17 and 60, and it will also mention the term when they have been on service. The register will be controlled by the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff of the Armed Forces. In the Lugansk region, not far from Nizhny village, Ukrainian soldiers constructed a pontoon bridge to organize a crossing point for the vehicles, because since the time when the local bridge was ruined by the militant shelling, civilians from Toshkivka, Krymsky, and Svetlichny could not come to Severodonetsk and to buy products. The servicemen of the Armed Forces of Ukraine organized this crossing point in compliance with all the norms of exploitation and organized a patrol there. Averagely every day, nearly 100 vehicles cross the bridge, as well as nearly 500 persons. The command also considers the possibility to build one more crossing point in this area. The ministry continues to pay financial remuneration to the servicemen who perform their duties in Donetsk and Lugansk regions in the conflict zone. As of today, Ukrainian soldiers received over 153,400,000 hryvnias of financial remuneration. in particular 144,818,000 for direct participation in combat and 7,380,000 for performing mission in units. The families of the soldiers who died in the conflict zone since the start of the conflict have received already more than 1,400,000,000 hryvnias. 972 millions were paid to families of soldiers who were wounded and became disabled. Ukrainian soldiers also receive awards from the ministry for their devoted and courageous service. During this week, the President of Ukraine, the Chief Commander of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, awarded with the state awards nearly 100 soldiers of the armed forces. Awards of the Ministry of Defense and valuable gifts were given to 525 officers, sergeants, and soldiers, and more than 400 soldiers obtained the status of combat participant. Since the start of the conflict in the east of Ukraine, over 12,800 servicemen and staff members of the armed forces received state awards, and awards from the Ministry of Defense were given to more than 37,000 soldiers. 196,300 soldiers obtained status of combat participant. This is all for today. Thank you. Thank you. The press conference is over. Dear